to the MarcWes Sports Podcast.
It's the MarcWes Sports Podcast. I'm Marcus Benjamin. He's Wesley Pierre. And this is one of the greatest weeks in Miami sports history, baby, because we're the only market right now with two teams still in the playoffs. And first of all, I need to vent on the NHL. First off, like, why would you schedule the NHL with the basketball, with the NBA, our NBA franchise on the same night? And it's throughout the entire round, which is ridiculous. And like, they had a chance to right their wrongs next week, because I think on Saturday the Heat play, and then on Sunday the Panthers play, but then the Panthers play again on Monday. So they playing back-to-back. They playing back-to-back playoff games, which is unheard of, first off.
Did that even ever happen?
I don't know if it's ever happened. It's the first time I've seen it, and you already know what kind of sports fan I am through the years. I've never seen anything like that. So it's almost like they just straight hating on the Miami sports fan. This is like one of the greatest sports times for a Miami sports fan, and they have the audacity to schedule the Panthers with the Heat every night. I mean, last night it was weird, man. I watched the first two periods, the hockey game, and then third period I had to do the split screen. Thankfully, I have the ability to do split screen thanks to my dog over here. You know what I'm saying? But it was still weird. I didn't want to do that. I want to give, one team a full attention and the other team my full attention as well. So shame on you, NHL, for hating on us. And we're the only market. That's the thing. We're the only market with this situation. The only city in the United States with two teams in the two sports right now. So you think they would do us a solid and just schedule one on one night, schedule another team on the other night, like they did in the last round. So especially since, this is like the first time the Panthers is in the second round since '96. So I was a little worried about like what the crowd was going to be looking like at the Panthers game, but it was still full, and the Heat crowd was really live. It was more live than usual. To me, I guess, we really hate Boston a lot, with a lot of reason to hate them. So yeah, last night, disappointing loss by the Panthers. But we lost the first game of the last series, so keep your heads up, fans out there. But the Heat did what they do. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy Buckets was out there giving you all kinds of buckets and block shots. Bam was coming through with the block shots last night. I mean, it was amazing. It was great too, because it was great even how the whole game played out. How Boston was up, feeling good about themselves. You got all these pundits talking they shit like they always do, hating on the Heat. And they still doing that, by the way. I don't know what we got to do. We got to win a championship, apparently, for them to give us our props. You know what I'm saying? It's that crazy. But then we come back on them. We have like this biggest run in the third quarter.
Jimmy Buckets.
Jaylen
Brown.
Jaylen Brown was, he was making his shots or whatever, but Jason Tatum, I hate to say, was looking a little light-skinned last night, and was gooking in the fourth quarter, and trying to get calls, trying to get fouls, and that wasn't happening, and that usually doesn't happen when you're at home. So it was great how it happened, but I do got to give props to my boy Jimmy Buckets, because he is, he's doing what he can within what he does. You know what I'm saying? For him to score 41 points last night and not hit a three-pointer is not even heard of these days. And the fact that he's still doing it on the other side as well, as far as playing defense, he had a block on Tatum in the corner that was nasty. And he got to the line like old school Wade used to get to the line. And he was making his free throws too. I think he missed 2, maybe 1. I don't know. And I know it seemed like he wasn't missing any free throws.
One. He was 17 for 18.
So he missed 1 free throw. I mean, you can't ask anything more than that from Jimmy Buckets. So I just got to give props to him as a player, because he is kind of like the American dream, as people say. I mean, he started in the league and he was averaging what, 2 points a game, and now he's an all-star. He's to me, he's the best player in the playoffs right now, better than Luka. I know my Luka fans out there are gonna be mad about that, but he's better than Luka right now as far as what he does for his team,
Exactly.
offensively and defensively. So
There you go.
he's a great story. So I'm rooting for him. He's a great guy to just root for. He's not soft. He works. You know, he wants to get his teammates involved. He's not selfish at all. Always giving his teammates props. So just just hail to Jimmy Butler based on his performance last night. But we can't expect him to drop 40 every night. You know what I'm saying? And somebody else got to step up and do their thing as well. Whether that's going to be, Tyler Hero or Bam, or somebody else off the bench, Max Strus. Somebody needs to come through and just give a little bit more offensively. But the defense got this thing locked down. And yeah, I understand they didn't play with Marcus Smart. They didn't play with Al Horford. Okay. What was that going to do for you? Give you maybe,
Exactly.
what was that going to do for you? Give you maybe 5 more points than what you scored? You know what I'm saying? That's the most I think that is what they would do for you, because defense is the defense, and we're gonna lock those boys down when they come back, if they come back. But the thing about the media, bro, like, it's amazing to me, bro. Like,
It's the beaches, the women, and the weather. Come on, let's not play.
I mean, I hear you saying that, and I know it's the truth, but at the same time, it still just blows my mind how much. Like, on the way home here, I'm listening to Chris Broussard and Rob Parker, and they still not giving the Heat props, bro. Still not giving the Heat props. Talking about, Atlanta wasn't nobody. Philly playing with Embiid, who wasn't all the way healthy, and now they playing out with the Celtics playing without Marcus Smart. They said the Celtics are just a more talented team. The audacity of these fools, man. It just blows my mind, the hate for the Heat, and every win just feels that much better.
Exactly. Like, look, like we've been saying, it's the beaches, the women, and the weather. They just don't like us. You feel what I'm saying? Because, and I understand we got a lot of things other than sports to do in the city of Miami and not in the Tri-County area, because I mean everything's so close together. Even if you stayed in West Palm Beach, you could be in Miami in like an hour, less than an hour if you drive good, and the traffic is not that bad. But regardless of the fact, the Miami Heat been doing what they've been doing. It's the culture. We scream that all the time. And even now when we scream in the culture, you got individuals in the media is like, oh, so the Heat is the only one that have a good culture like that? Yes, we are. If we're bringing up people like Strus, Vincent, Duncan Robinson, individuals like that, you feel what I'm saying? Like, how can you poo-poo on everything that we doing, and we showing you that we are consistent in our ways, we consistent with our conditioning, we're consistent in if someone is slacking, we're gonna check them. We're not gonna run to the to social media, invent to social media when I'm in practice with you and I could check you in your face. You're not practicing the way you need to, oh, I'm gonna check you. You staying out at night longer than you have to because we got the beaches, the women, and the weather. I'm gonna go ahead and check you, and we don't have no problem fighting and keeping it indoors, because again, going back to when we had that little spat on the bench, you notice that we have the best record in the NBA ever since we had that little spat in front of the national media. And the national media, oh, of course, when there's something negative about Miami, let's go ahead and gravitate to that little negative energy. Let's go ahead and perpetuate it like Miami is having some trouble. Eric Spoelstra doesn't have the locker room. The team is in shambles, this, that, and the other. No, because the record speaks for itself. We've been trying to say that for the longest. Look, Jimmy Bucket's been coming through. I agree with everything that you say. He's the best individual in the playoffs right now. Why? Because he's a two-way player. Luka don't play defense like he do. Now, I understand that Luka and Jimmy Butler does have some similarities. Some of the similarities is what? they do not go fast. They take their time. You remember when I used to tell you that about Tyler Hero? He need to slow down. That's gonna make him a little better. And he did that. He slowed down a little bit. And I'm not meaning slow down literally, but take time to evaluate the court and see what you need to do. Don't rush. And he's doing that. And you see Baby Goat in the making right now. You know what I'm saying? Looking like he's in Hollywood. It's Hollywood, Miami. But again, at the end of the day, it's just a breath of fresh air that everything is happening the way that they're happening. And like you said, you got Chris Broussard and you have the other individuals still poo-pooing on our name, on our culture, on everything that we believe in Miami, because how we the number one seed, right? And nobody talk about us. They still don't talk about us. We gentlemen sweep one of these individuals. We swept these individuals in the damn bubble. If not a gentleman sweep. We continuously show them that we're exactly who we are. And that's fuel to the fire. Yeah. Like Jimmy Bucket say, you know, I'm going to show you. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all thinking I ain't the truth? I'm going to show you. And not just that. He got one of the best stories in the NBA. How can you not like him? This dude went fatherless. Everybody don't have a father in the family, but he's one of those individuals. He was homeless at 13. Why? Because his mom didn't like the way that he looked. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that. You got kicked out, not for being a bad kid. You got kicked out because she didn't like the way you look. Don't you know that I came from you? So obviously I look like you. Or it may be he probably looked like the father and she's taking that energy out on him. You feel me? Because every time she look at him, she's looking at the father that kind of left them to dry. Also, ranked 73